All right. So, okay. Oops. I don't want that. Okay. We are. Let's see. Is the sound working? Can anyone let me know? Nope. Nope. Looks like maybe the sound isn't working.
Not working right now?
Hey, working 5x5. All right, so you guys need to let me know. Oh my gosh, this is not staying stable. Great. It is a little bit windy out here,
Yes,
and
it
this
is.
looks like it's not super secure. But at least they can hear us.
Yes, they can.
And we are using the deck here with a very close view. And so I just want to see if I can get this to stay still. Yeah, I don't know. That might be shaking. But anyway, all right. So we are hopefully actually doing Flight 8 for real this time.
Absolutely.
It has been quite a week and over a week, or yeah, you've been here over a week. Wow. And so let's talk about where we're at right now. And obviously a different view. Hopefully the service is better here and you guys can let us know. But let's see, can we point to it and show people?
Right here behind us is the launch site. We have the full stack. The propellant floating is underway. About 1 hour and 15 minutes. They did the poll. They said go ahead, and about let's see, 8 minutes ago they started putting propellant into the ship. They are now starting to put propellant into the booster. So we are well underway right now.
And we are less than 40 minutes away.
About 37 minutes away. Yep. It's really getting close. And speaking of being close, as Ellie suggested, we are at a different location at Port Isabel. And we are about maybe a mile closer than we were at Margaritaville.
So we're experimenting because we've always streamed from the roof of Margaritaville, but the service has been a little bit rough up there, even with Starlink. And so we're hoping that the service is better for you today. Looks to me like the picture's clear. And so let's see if I can share SpaceX's. SpaceX, they're starting in a few minutes, right?
They will start at 55, so it should be very soon.
Going up here. Okay, just so that I have that ready to go. So I'm going to share this screen and share screen, SpaceX launches. All right, so start that. We'll be able to have both of them going. Because as you guys can tell, I'm sure we don't have the Hollywood level red digital cinema cameras, unfortunately. Half of our team had to leave. But, you know, that's just kind of what happens with these launches where, you know, people they have their own daily lives and can't always stay. And there's a drone. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if we can get this any steadier.
Yeah, it looks like your tripod is just very loose.
Yeah, the top mechanism is, and I don't know if there's a way to fix it right now.
I'll go ask something. I'll be right back.
Yep. So anyway, let me know where you guys are checking in from. Looks like you guys like the way it looks right now. The only problem that we have is this really shaky tripod. Maybe Joe is able to fix it. Oh my gosh, it's so shaky. Still looking rough. Maybe, do you want me to take it off and you can fiddle with it for a second?
You can.
See if you can fix it.
Sorry about this. This is live. We're trying
guys.
To figure this out here.
In the meantime, let me show you where we're at. So you can see this beautiful big deck that we have here. And this is a much different view. So if you look over off in the distance, you can see South Padre Island and all of the, main hotels. And so we're at a very different location and pretty excited for this because, check out this mermaid. Hi. Hello. I didn't see you there. All right, so it looks like maybe we will have a better setup here.
Okay, so put it on there now. It's
It
be much
is.
stabler. All right, this is the fun of doing a live stream and just trying to make it happen all on the fly here. But,
All right.
but that should be a lot more stable.
And it's still looking a little bit. Let's see if I can hook into that. Okay. Is this even right?
There you go. That should be a lot better.
I swear, dude, the service is always. Okay. Is it working? Okay. All right. Let's actually do this for real. Sorry, I was distracted trying to troubleshoot, and that's never a good time. So yeah, how far are we from the pad, Joe?
We're about just about 5 miles away, which is just about 1 mile closer than Margaritaville.
So.
And we're at a lower altitude too. We're at ground level.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences with this one. So I'm very curious to see, we both have only experienced one of the booster catches. There's only been 2.
Yeah.
But we've only experienced it once. So it'll be interesting to see it closer, to feel it closer, hopefully not feel it too much.
Right.
But yeah, what a tough time it's been just, getting this thing off the ground. And let's talk about, the hold that we had and the issues that we've sort of had early in the week.
Well, it actually started last week. We were thinking maybe Wednesday, and then they had a hold until Friday. And then there was another hold, and we went to Monday. We were thinking that was going to look pretty good. It had some weather issues and stuff, but then the ship.
Very foggy.
Yes, it was very foggy. Much better today as far as visibility. But yeah, they ran into a couple of issues with the booster and the ship, but also with the ground support as well. And they ultimately decided that they were going to scrub that mission. And then it took several days of fixing, and they did some work on the ship itself, both inside and outside. They did some work on the ground support as well. They looked up at the hot staging ring, and they were working on that. And eventually it looked like they got everything done. It took them a little longer than they were expecting. And then they started to do the full stack. And when they did that, we ran into 2 new issues. One had to do with kind of an insulator or a guide on one of the 3 major pins that help connect the ship to the hot staging ring. That's very important.
Yeah.
That was kind of a misalignment, knocked that off. So they stopped the lift for that. And then when they were getting ready to bring the ship back down to check that, there was a chopstick issue actually on the rail and the skates. And that turned out to be maybe the bigger of the 2 issues. Yeah. And, yesterday they spent a lot of time with the die grinder and other work to try to just get the chopsticks to go. But finally they got it done, and they put to the full stack, and here we are.
Well, and I want to shout out SpaceX for, how impressive. Obviously, it's impressive to catch a booster and to launch something as giant as Starship. But let's just talk about the destacking and the restacking and just the time frame that they're doing these things really in record time compared to any other rocket company.
Well, it's not just building the biggest rocket and doing all the stuff that you would do at other rocket companies would do. And of course, they have a lot of talented young people that are making this happen and building the future, which is outstanding. But I think one of the things that really helps separate SpaceX, at least what we've been seeing from the other companies, is the speed that they are able to troubleshoot, figure out what the solution is, come up with a solution, implement it, and then move along. And that was, very much in demonstration yesterday and getting those chopsticks fixed. I mean, other space companies, that could have been a month-long delay as they just decided we're not going to go.
At the least.
Yes. And they also kind of overcame a little bit of an edge case, too, and that was with the new design of the Starship, they only have really one way of picking up the Starship on the ground. Right. And when the chopsticks had the problem, the Starship was off the ground a pretty good amount, and there was no other way of getting it off the chopsticks. So they had to figure that out as well. And this is actually kind of cool. There's some helicopters flying around. This one here is, I think, Redline, which is what you could actually rent and go see Starbase.
Watch the launch from a helicopter.
But there's also Coast Guard flying around too, making sure all the areas out in the water are all clear and we don't have any boat issues.
Yeah. Do you mind switching places with me?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. And it looks like we have some super chats dropping in. So thank you for everyone who's coming back to our take two. Thank you, Bimmer Geezer, for the generous super chat. Hi, Ellie and Joe from the Virgin from Virginia. There's a lie in there. And thank you from Dakota as well. So much work goes into making these streams. Appreciate your perspective and work on these launches. Thank you for watching our stream. There are a bunch of amazing streams out there. So the fact that any of you guys are watching is amazing. David, also thank you for the super chat. Let's hope that today goes well. And it's, I feel bad for the people who have to leave and who invested time. And I always feel a little bad because it's just hard to, SpaceX ultimately is doing this for their own objectives,
right, exactly,
and testing. And so as much as it is entertainment for us, that is not the priority.
That is true. But they do, I mean, they welcome us out there. As we've talked about a lot of times, you can go out and get unbelievably close to flight hardware that's literally about to go right now. I mean, yesterday we were sitting at the base of the tower. It's just amazing. So if you can come out, I would recommend you do that. And they are very accommodating, but we want to make sure that we, honor their limits as well.
I mean, they could accommodate us a little more with a bathroom.
Yeah, they could. They could do that.
But, it is, that was one of the comments we did a few video updates from the mud flats is the area that we're calling it. And so many people were just shocked. How do you get so close? I mean, do you have a ticket? What are you doing? And the truth is, you guys can all get that close too. You just have to come in person and know where to go, which is also not hard to find out. But this is available to everyone, which I think is pretty incredible.
Right. I would say with the caveat is get here as soon as you can, because I don't know how much longer this is going to be available to the public like it is.
Absolutely. And so, I'm really excited to see it from a different vantage point.
Yes.
This is, this is a very, it may be a similar profile to what we've seen, but for us, it's a very different experience.
Oh, kind of a profile as far as the launch, and right, our vantage point. But don't want to overemphasize it. But this is an extremely important launch for SpaceX.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. Well, the overall basic idea is that they will launch as the full stack. They will go up, do the hot staging. The booster is coming back for hopefully a catch at the tower where it came at, and that's less than 7 minutes from launch, so it's very quick. And then after that, the ship will continue on its flight to try to get up to its near orbital trajectory. And then about 17 minutes after launch, they're going to start doing the simulated Starlink deployments. They have 4 of them on board this time. We get a chance to see how the PEZ dispenser, the propellant, the PEZ door, and the dispensing of the satellites goes, and maybe we'll get views from them. I don't know.
Yeah, do we think that there's a camera on them?
There's a lot of people that are speculating.
Yeah, there's the rumor.
I would love to see that, and I think SpaceX would too. But,
absolutely.
But then after that, they're going to do a deorbit burn demonstration, about a 1 second with one engine. And then the big things besides all that is the reentry and testing out this new ship, the new design, the new flaps, the new heat shield, and all the tests with the heat shield as well. They really need to get that done.
Yeah.
And then finally, they need to prove that this new version of the ship, which is very different than all the other ones that have gone and landed in the engine ocean, this version has not done that yet. So they need to be able to validate that the controllability, the design is able to get a pinpoint landing, because if they can do that, then maybe they'll go for the catch next time.
What would you consider a successful flight today?
I think they need to hit all their milestones. I don't think this is one of the early ones. We're hoping that they get off the pad, or maybe the booster gets
that is
caught.
Important.
Yes. But I really think we're getting far enough into the development of the Starship now that they need really most, if not all, of the milestones successful.
I mean, do you think that we're behind in any way?
I guess when you say that, that implies that
it's a loaded question.
Yes,
I know. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know. But we have to have some sort of target to be shooting for to be able to know, are we ahead or behind? If you believe what Elon Musk has been saying about trying to get to Mars at the next opportunity, which is the end of 2026, we are pushing the limits quite a bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably on their minds a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And so with that, some people have been hinting that Flight 9 could have the ship catch. I'm skeptical, but I was also skeptical that the booster would be caught on Flight 5.
Well, everybody was skeptical that they could catch anything.
Yeah, that's
You know?
true. That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, but then when the booster got caught on that Flight 5, I think that was really a turning point. Not only that they could do it, but it really captured the public's imagination, and also NASA and a lot of other space companies, because they realized, hey, this could actually work, this concept. And they were able to demonstrate that they could do it again on Flight 7. Flight 6, it didn't come back here, and I know we were disappointed, but I thought that was actually, in the end, really great, because they got a lot of data on what is it like if they have to do the offshore divert.
Totally.
So they've now tried both of those. They've demonstrated both. They have 2 catches. We're going to see today if they can do the catch. So, the fact that they've learned with the booster means that at least they have a good idea with the ship.
Yes.
Of course, it's going to be on a completely different trajectory, a different direction, and all that. But I was thinking about this yesterday when we were out at the tower. And although the ship's coming in from the west rather than the east, and it's going to have to go over the tower and do that, the flip and burn. But as soon as they finish that part, if they can then get to the same profile as the booster from that point to the catch, it's very similar. So they probably can use that data.
Yeah. So we could see it on Flight 9.
I hope so. But like I said, this flight is very important. They have to get this one, and it has to go really well.
Well, exactly. I mean, we were hoping for a lot of these things on the last flight, and it didn't even get close to being able to even experiment or meet the objectives.
Yeah, and I know some people were they were questioning about that. They're like, well, how can you be at Flight 7 and have a ship lost after everything?
It's a debuting of a new block, the V2, so it's not the same. It's actually not the same.
No. It's like if you buy a brand new car that's been completely refreshed, it's not the same as the old one.
It's like its own new Flight 1 in a way. And, someday we'll see that with the booster being a different generation. And so I think it's, really important for those of us space nerds who follow this. We know that, but I think the general public might not understand there actually are some differences.
Yes.
Flight 5 with that first booster catch is just not the same animal.
Right.
Talking about testing things and seeing what happens in a situation where you do need to abort, for example, to catch, got me thinking with the chopsticks and getting stuck, and what would they do if we have a booster a ship hanging in midair?
Well, I think that yesterday was a great point for them to think about, because there was a period of time where the question was, if they can't get the chopsticks to work and the ship is stuck in the air, what do you do? So I think that was maybe a good test for them. But they're going to have to think that through a little bit more, because, in the future, if the ops are going such that, say, the booster gets caught, they want to make sure it gets down onto the OLM, they safe it, and then they want to move the booster away because maybe a few hours later the ship's coming back. They need to be able to do that quickly. So if they have a problem with the chopsticks, they need to have an alternative plan in mind.
And it looks like we're getting some more super chats, so let me shout them out as they come in. Graham, thank you for watching. It looks like you are not watching potentially from the United States. David, thank you as well for the super chat. Love your stream, your live stream, not a sterile production.
Oh,
okay,
well, thank you.
Great. We appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it from this much closer vantage point.
Yeah.
It feels closer, I think, too, just because we're at the ground level.
We're at the ground level, but we can also see it.
Yeah.
We don't have the fog.
It was, I'm sort of glad it scrubbed on Monday, because it was pitiful. I was like, this is going to be, we're going to hear it, we're not going to see it. And, if you've ever traveled all the way to a rocket launch, and that's been the case, kind of is a bummer. I mean, it's still cool to be there, still cool to hear it, but you want to see it.
Exactly.
You want to see it.
Yeah, there's nothing like it here. Just seeing a rocket launch and then come back. That's just bizarre, even to this day.
Still is.
Yeah.
We've only seen one, but it was like truly CGI in real life. I was like, I don't really believe what I'm seeing.
Yes.
And some things that struck me about it, it looked like it was coming down much faster.
A lot faster than you think. Yeah.
Yes. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to hit the tower.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of does its little maneuvering. And
well, it's not only that it's faster, but like you said, you thought it was going to hit the tower. That's because it waits to the very last second before turning the engines on.
It's incredible. It truly is incredible. And so it's been, you know, every time we come down here, sometimes we meet some of the SpaceX employees will say, hey, we watch your channel, which thank you, still blows me away. But, you know, they are doing some really, really just out of this world things.
Exactly.
The pun is intended.
Yeah. Well, two things real quick. We just passed another milestone. They are starting to do the Raptor chill on the boosters, which is a necessary part to get them ready thermally for the be able to light the engines. And the other thing I wanted to say is we met a SpaceX employee yesterday when we were out there, you know, when everything's getting done. And he actually is a brand new employee to SpaceX. And he said he was inspired by your channel to go to SpaceX. Isn't that amazing?
I think there might be something wrong with that picture. No, it was
really cool.
It was really cool. I was like, wow, that, you know, from someone who doesn't have a degree in this, the fact that I can inspire people to work for SpaceX is kind of mind-blowing, but it is really cool.
I think that's why you do it. This is why I do it, is that we're trying to get the word out to explain that despite what's going on in the world right now, there are a lot of very positive things. And one of them is what we're doing here with the Starship, the SpaceX guys. Like I mentioned, they're young people. Actually, they're people from all ages, but they're kind of young at mind, and they're willing to try different things and not be, you know, boxed into one particular solution. But they're really trying to build things that have never been done before. Yeah. And it's just so great.
SpaceX just continues to raise the bar, and it's like, okay, well, you can't get a private company can't get a rocket into orbit. That's just not even worth trying. Right. Okay, they did that. And then, you know, you can't reuse a booster. Okay, well, they're doing that. And there's no way you can catch it in a tower. Well, there actually is a way. It's behind us. Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know if people can see us here or if we can. Can you kind of make that out? If you come over here, are those?
It's really hard to tell in the image.
It's very hard to tell where we are, but I wanted to thank Helge for the, is it Helge? Am I saying Helga? Helga, sorry if I'm saying this correctly. Thank you for your coverage. Thank you for watching. And Dwayne, thank you as well for watching. And I just want to take a moment to show you the newest version of the Mechazilla shirt, which I should probably just do a small little plug here and put the link. We are also shipping to the UK now. So if you would like to support my channel and have this awesome shirt, the link is there in the comments. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. And Ricker, thank you so much for the super chat just now. How is it? You're always the best. Okay. I don't know.
Thank you.
I just am who I am. That's very sweet of you. And yes, I still haven't gotten approved for the White House press pass. I did apply some weeks ago, but it sounds like they're doing a rotation of this sort of new media. So I haven't ruled it out yet. I think that they have had a lot of applications.
I think so.
Everyone and their mom wants to get in there. What about Ellie and Gwen doing emergency slide tests? That would be amazing. I would love that. I'm free whenever. That would be really cool. I was going to say, if SpaceX would ever let me, that would be pretty awesome to
like I said, I did it once with a control tower, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is it scary?
I didn't think so, but then again, you and I, we think of risk a little bit differently.
Yeah, we have different fear levels for sure. I will say, you know, the last time I felt that sonic boom in my rod, and it's the first time I've had any real issue with the rod, and so someone else, you know, that I met here also has a FEMA rod and said, yes, you feel it, and no, it won't hurt you. So today we're a little closer. I'm kind of excited in an experimental way to have a second test so I can compare it to if you guys were watching this Flight 7 where I kind of dropped and, you know, was grabbing my leg.
You dove for cover or something.
I was immediately, So that'll be an interesting little side note for me. But it is, you know, I guess it goes without saying, it's loud.
Yes.
And it's a different type of loud than just the ascent. That kind of rumbles and it's gradual and it's really exciting, but sonic boom.
Well, that's because, you know, we're talking about the speed of sound. So when it emanates, though, when you see the shock waves, and you'll see that with the kind of the very sharply defined clouds that are coming off of the booster. The moment that happens, the sonic boom is heading our way, and it's about 8 seconds per mile. So if we are, let's call it 5 miles, and that's going to be about 40 seconds. So that's why it's a little bit surprising, because we haven't quite heard the engines yet. Maybe we're hearing a little bit of the rumble, and we can see it, and it may be real close to being caught. And then about that time, then the sonic boom arrives, and it's really quick, in rapid succession, 3 little booms, and it's very loud, and it's you'll probably see the camera shake from where we're located.
Well, that's why I have that clip of me when I was doing a Falcon 9 launch coverage live, and I turn around when I hear it, and I'm way too late to the party at that point. So yes, I have learned not only to pay attention more, but that the sound is delayed and it can creep up on you. But the sonic booms are very jarring.
Yes,
they almost sound like gunshots.
Something, I don't know if it's really behind the scenes or whatever, just so you know what's going on the SpaceX feed. One of the things that they're doing for the very first time is that they are doing their live stream from the new administration building at SpaceX by the factory. And if you look when they come back on their live streams, you'll see that they have windows behind them, and behind them is the launch site. And they're about 2.5 miles. So this is a bit of an experiment on their
This is the
behalf.
first time?
Yes. Before that, they were several more miles away.
Yeah.
So
why are they doing that now?
Because this is their headquarters. They think that they can do it.
They
but
can.
this is really a test. And I talked to some of the SpaceX guys, and they're like, "We're going to see how it goes."
Oh my
gosh! So we will see what their reaction is, because they're half the distance than we are.
Oh my gosh, I'm very curious. James, thank you for the super chat. Thanks, Ellie and Joe. Great presentation with lots of information. Nice t-shirt. I'm so glad that you like the t-shirt. And maybe later on in the stream, Joe will show the other design, but that can be later. So where are we at now?
Well, we are about under 12 minutes, and that means we have about 8.5 minutes until the propellant loading concludes. So about between 3 and 2 minutes is when all the propellant should be concluded. Hopefully soon, maybe on the SpaceX feed, we'll get a view of the tank so we'll know exactly how much it is. But we are getting really close to that point of the launch where there's going to be a bunch of things. They're going to end the propellant. They're going to get their final go, no go. We could still have that 40-second hold, so we'll be watching for that. It's kind of their last built-in hold.
Is it planned? Is it going to happen for sure?
As far as
it
may be. I mean, they have that in case they run into issues that they want to have more time.
Right.
As a reminder, the window is about an hour to launch today, so
which is longer than the last one.
It is because they had eaten into it about 15 minutes last time, so they only had 45 minutes. But they can hold for almost all that entire time. So. And they'll do that if they have any issues that they need to resolve, if there's any data that they need to just check on it. So we'll be watching that. If you see the countdown past 40 and it continues on, then we are committed to really going. So it's pretty cool.
There's no turning back at that point.
Well, there is, but I mean, they're going.
How hard would it be to stop it at that point?
Well, up until the actual lighting of the engines, you can shut it down.
Yeah.
But once the engines are kind of lit and they start throttling up, so you get that thrust to weight ratio above 1, I think that's definitely committed. Because at that point, because about right now, the actual hold down clamps have already been released. So the only thing that's holding it on the launch mount right now is the weight of the rocket. So they do that because they don't want to have a last second, maybe a catch, maybe one of the clamps doesn't release. So right now they can verify that that's all done, because the last thing you want is a clamp that's still holding while it's trying to go up, and that would be very disastrous. So
what would happen?
It would not be very good. The
like
rocket wouldn't want to leave. You have all the engines going, and it would probably tilt and blow up.
I mean, it'd be kind of entertaining.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. But anyway, so all that is done, but once the engines throttle enough so they're above that 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio, it's going, and there's no stopping at that point in time.
Yeah. Is this really dark?
Yeah, well, we kind of have a lot of light behind us, and we have an overhead canopy, so that's going to make it a little bit dark. But yeah, one of the other things I didn't mention, if the whole flight profile goes well, and if the ship touches down in the Indian Ocean, hopefully in one piece, and we don't have any, energetic ruds or anything. But if it's in one piece, they actually have assets out in the Indian Ocean to try to recover the ship and take it back to a port in Australia. Yeah.
That's why I was like, is Marcus House going to take a little field trip from Tasmania to go?
Maybe it's on the other side of Australia, but it's a lot closer.
It's closer than us. That would be really cool. Thank you, Ava Trode LLC, for the super chat. Well done, both of you. Thanks
thank
for
you.
your excellent coverage. Yeah, I mean, we had so many people watching on Monday, and I felt so bad that we couldn't deliver. So hopefully today we actually get to see another Starship launch. And it's crazy to me that we're almost in the double digits of Starship launches. It feels like just yesterday it was IFT1.
I know. It was only 2 years ago.
I know.
But that's another thing that's kind of, we were talking earlier about SpaceX, the employees, and how fast they're moving. In 2 years, we've had, with this one here, 8 launches. And if you look at most other rocket companies, they do a couple a year.
Uh-huh.
And they're operational. And yet we're about to have the 8th prototype one of this, which is amazing.
It's, again, SpaceX is unlike the rest.
Right.
They're setting the bar, and they're doing things that people think are impossible, like going to Mars. A lot of people think it'll never happen. It's been interesting to see sort of more and more people express the sentiment that it's just a waste of time and money. And
well, just because something hasn't been done doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means it hasn't been done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get it. I'm just saying, some people don't get it. And
well, I think it happens in life with a lot of things. There's a lot of things people will just say, well, that can't happen. But then when it does, there was a time where, we didn't have GPS, and the idea of being able to know exactly where you were and use a phone to be able to navigate was an impossibility. And now everybody takes that for granted.
Yep. I would be terrible with a Thomas guide. I would be terrible. I do not have a good sense of direction. And
back in the day with the paper maps.
Yeah, that's you.
Okay.
Catherine, thank you for the super chat. Thank you both for the info and coverage. Yes, we are getting maybe let's stand a little closer, I guess.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to, put the SpaceX feed as well in the background.
Well, this is really sorry. Okay, this is really good on the SpaceX feed. You can see the propellant tanks where we're at. We're almost full with the ship, and we're about 90% or so with the booster. So that is getting close. We still have about 8 minutes or so. Is that right? No,
11.
about 8 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're 8. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, about 8 minutes to go. A little under that. 7 minutes to go now. So
scary.
In about 4 minutes, they should be wrapping up. That's consistent with what we're seeing with the images here of the tanks. And then,
oh my God,
like I said, it's going to be pretty rapid after that. Just looking at the timelines, 30 seconds is the flight director go for launch. That's after the 40-second possible hold point. And then the flame deflector, we should start seeing that going about 10 seconds before the ignition, and then ignition, and here we go. It's going to be kind of interesting to see here. We are going to be able to see the ignition and liftoff about maybe 5 or 6 seconds before the SpaceX feed will show you.
Yeah.
So we're going to be a little bit ahead of what you're going to see.
We're in real time.
Yeah.
IRL. Thank you. Cheers GXP for the super sticker. Wow, I can't believe we're so close.
It's awesome. Awesome.
I waited a little bit longer to start the stream, and we're not really having a tap dance that much today. I mean, I can still, no, I'm kidding.
We do have a couple minutes. If anybody has any questions, let me know, or let us know. We'll try to answer that. One thing I mentioned on the previous attempt, but I'll mention it again, is when the engines get ready to launch or to light, you can see on the SpaceX feed the engine diagram, and what you're going to see is the first 13 inner engines will ignite first, and then very quickly you'll see 15 of the outer ring, and then after that very quickly 5. So they do it in a 3 kind of cycle. And I think the reason why they do the first 13 on the inside is because those are the ones that are going to have to use the ship to relight later on. They're the only ones that can. And they want to make sure that those are good before the outer ones go on, because the ground support uses the pneumatic system to spin up the outer 20. And those are dependent on the ground support, not on the ship itself. So they want to do it in a nice sequence so they know that the ones that are most important, the ones that have to relight and they have that capability, are ready to go.
A good explainer. And thank you, James, for the super chat. No like for Joe until he punches the thrust plume with a DJI.
Oh. Well, there is a drone flying here where we're at, but it's not me this time. And
so I just want to make sure that they can sort of see.
Okay.
I think you can see it. So
Okay.
I don't know where we should. I guess I should just if I like stand here.
I think this will be fine. I have to do a camera thing
Okay,
off cam.
yeah,
I'll be
go
right
for
back.
it. Go for it. Oh my gosh. I feel like so different about this launch because I feel so much closer. We're like a little bit closer by a mile, but I think being at the ground level, it feels like a whole different experience. Thank you from SpaceX Nerd Tom, broadcast from Port Isabel. You got it. It is so quiet and peaceful back here, but it won't be quiet for long. I scoped out spots over there for IFT 6, got stuck at Isla Blanca for 4 hours in traffic. Yes, it is tough. Don't dive under the railing. Love you two together. Great teamwork. I'm going to try to just stand.
You'll be fine.
Breathe.
We're just 4 minutes away.
Thank you, everyone, for the super chats and for watching. Yeah, we're getting really close.
Yep. And so far, I'm not seeing anything that's saying that
oh my gosh,
that anything's in the way. So hopefully, no boats out in the water. Hopefully, the ship's ready to go.
I feel like my heart's already starting to race.
We're getting definitely ready for game time.
Be in the present. I'm here. I'm about to really be in the present.
All right. By the way, just a shout out again to the SpaceX drone guys. I have a little space in my heart for them. They're doing some amazing photography. And I know that they have one stationed maybe 1,000, 1,500 feet above the tower. So hopefully we'll get some pretty sweet shots of the ship lifting off here pretty soon.
And we're almost 3 minutes out. Is it already? It feels like we've been waiting around all week because we have. And now it's like, oh, are you sure you're ready?
Well, I hope so.
Is
I
it
hope
really
this is
happening?
it.
It doesn't even feel like it's 5:30.
Okay, we should be really close to the ship and booster fold up. I can see that the tower vent's going again. What that means is that they are draining out all the pipes that have the cryogenics, which means that the propellant loading should be completed. And they do that so that they don't have anything that's combustible within the pipes for the actual launch. So another really great sign.
Oh
so here we are, just about almost 2.5 minutes to go.
Wow.
So we're looking pretty good. And just as a reminder, after liftoff, about 1 minute and 2 seconds, they'll hit max Q. And in about 2.5 minutes, we'll be in the hot stage. And then the boost back burn is about 3 minutes to 3:45 or so. They'll make the decision to come back. Hopefully, we'll get the return to launch site. And then just about 6 minutes, 40 seconds or so, it will be caught. So it's going to happen very quickly. Of course, I'll keep an eye on not just the booster, but also what's going on with the ship, because that's what we saw the last time where it started having its issues.
Yes.
So hopefully all is good.
We went from happy to sad to kind of happy.
Well, here we are, 2 minutes. So they're really getting close now.
Okay.
All right. Still moving along. Prop load should be completed. I think they're doing the last minute checks, checking the sensors, making sure everything looks good.
They'll be able to see it.
And
actually, if I stand here, do you think that
it might. We'll see.
I hope so.
But we also have the SpaceX feeds. We'll go with that.
Yeah,
and we also have some offline cameras that are going to get the video footage, and we'll be able to show it later on. But here we are, 1.5 minutes. So we're 1 minute away from the launch director go or no go, but also 40-second mark. We'll see if it continues to count down. We're pretty good.
I have been so curious about what it would feel like to watch from somewhere else other than Margaritaville.
Well,
and it feels different. Like it literally already is just like, oh my gosh, I feel so much closer. And like, I'm on the same level instead of this up high.
We're at 1 minute.
Roof. Woo! Oh my God.
Actually, we're real line. We're about 45 seconds or so. We're really, really close. So
oh my God.
We're going to see it here just a little bit before SpaceX. So it's coming right up. Okay, very, very close now. What do we got here? And I think we're holding. I don't know. Yep.
Oh.
I think we're at a hold.
Oh no. Is it? Hopefully it's very temporary hold.
Okay, it says countdown hold for final checkout. So that's fine. We have talked about this is an extremely important mission. So I think that they want to make sure that everything is good before they say go. And we have an hour for the window, so they can work out whatever last minute issues that they may be having, or they just want to be 100% sure. Oh, okay, the countdown is going. All right. It is now
my
riding.
Oh, shit.
It's going. Liftoff.
This is Starship.
Oh my God!
Wow.
It's climbing away.
Sound is coming soon.
Oh no!
Okay, we are a little bit ahead. Whoa! Now we have engines. All 33 are lit. Outstanding.
Oh!
It has cleared the tower. It is completing its roll maneuver. This is amazing. Getting close to max Q.
Holy shit! This is scary.
If you can, as soon as we start seeing clouds kind of go around the exhaust, that's right at max Q. We are seeing it now. Take a look. We're at max Q now. All 33 still going. This is outstanding. Okay. We're at about 11 kilometers in altitude right now, which is awesome. And we're through max Q. It's the maximum dynamic pressure, so the pressure is starting to decrease, and it's well on its way. Still showing 33 engines, which is outstanding as well. We are now passing about 17 kilometers and nearing 2,000 kilometers per hour. Okay,
So
2 plus 1 minute 33 according to SpaceX. We're a little bit ahead of them
I felt
here.
that way more than on Margaritaville.
Yes. And
Way
we're on
more.
a deck here that was really shaking.
The windows were gonna break, dude.
Okay, still looking good. All 33 engines are lit.
Guys, first blue. Here we go. Beautiful.
And we're getting really close to the point where hot staging will be coming up very soon. I wish that you guys could see what we could see here on the live stream looking straight up.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts
Okay.
seeing
Go.
it in real life versus the screen.
All right, and we are very close now to the hot staging.
Come on, baby. Yeah.
Hot stage has happened.
I just saw that.
Okay, so that is completed. Let's see how we're doing here.
Here we go.
So,
We are separated.
oh, we're gonna do the catch.
Here we
Okay,
go.
we'll
Come
see.
on, baby.
The boost back burn is going to be underway here very soon. And this is the point where they're going to be making that decision based on all of the data, whether or not it's going to come back for the catch or not. We do have all 6 of the ship engines are lit. We only have 11 of the 13 for the boost back. So that's something to watch for. That may be part of the data where they decide whether they're going to come back for the catch or not. Yeah, so right now the ship has got all 6, only 11 of the 13 for the boost back burn. So we'll
What
have
do
to
you
just
think
see
that
if they can
that
get enough
means?
performance. They need to have enough performance to be able to come back.
Is 11 enough?
We'll have to see. Now, the last time they didn't have one ignite and then they were able to ignite it later. They said that they've done some igniter upgrades since then, but obviously they had an issue with this one. So let's see how this continues to progress. Okay, so we got some really nice views from the ship, though, on the SpaceX feed. It looks like they've now shut down the outer engines for the booster. They have the inner 3 continuing for the boost back, which is normal. And we should see those coming back here off pretty soon. And hopefully we'll get a word on whether or not it's going to be coming back or not. Okay. The ship is now over the Kármán line. All 6 engines continuing to go. The booster is coming back. And let's see what we get, if they get the return or not.
Come on. There's the second.
There it is. I got
There's
it.
the second. Come on, baby.
Okay, we can see that the booster is doing some of its thrusters to orient itself. The hot staging ring should be off now, so that will be coming down in a kind of a ballistic trajectory near the booster. But Let's see what's going on. Hopefully we get a chance to have that as a catch. You were asking whether or not the 11 engines were enough, assuming that they can get all lit again. That should still be enough.
That should be a better view.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's way better lighting.
All right.
Dude, oh my god, I'm scared.
Here we go.
Am I gonna be okay?
You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. All right. Okay, hot staging ring is definitely off. It is kind of floating around near the booster as the booster continues to reorient itself.
Wow, look at that cloud. Holy crap.
I'm going to go to this real quick. Yeah, that cloud is blowing this way because of the prevailing winds.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
It's coming. Holy frig, she's coming in hot.
Oh my god.
There it is, right up there.
Wow.
You can see the compression heating on the bottom of the engines. That's normal. It's definitely coming back.
Here we go.
Not yet. It's going to have to be a little bit later.
Oh no.
It's going to be just under the cloud. It'll be just under the cloud. And watch out for the vapor clouds. That'll be where the
Here we go.
shockwaves
There we
begin.
go.
It's lit.
Yes.
Okay. It's slowing down. It's maneuvering over towards the
Come on,
launch
baby.
tower. And it's maneuvering between the chopsticks. Hopefully that goes okay.
Come on. Come
Let's see the
on.
catch. Okay.
Yes.
Prepare for the shock. Here it comes. Yay! Woo! Woo! Awesome. Looks like another catch.
Yeah, baby.
Amazing.
Woo! Congratulations.
Wow. Now, the most important thing is the ship has still got all 6 engines and it is still on its trajectory. That is an important difference from Flight 7. It is caught. That is amazing. All right. Now, okay. So, I'm just going to say it was awesome. That was a hot staging ring that just hit the water. We just heard that. The booster's caught, which is great. We'll watch and see how that's going. But I will remind you, we still have a ship. This is the most important thing. All 6 of the engines on the ship are still lit. It is still on its climb. It's right now at about 17,000 kilometers per hour. They need about another 10,000 kilometers per hour for them to get to that near orbital velocity. And then we're going to start, once they get to the engine shut down, make sure that's good. We're in the countdown for that Starlink simulator deployment. So that's going to be coming up here in about 8 minutes.
Someone said reports on Twitter of explosions over the Canary Islands.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Well, let's see. Let's see what we see.
Oh my god. That like scared me so
Oh,
much.
it does look like the ship is out of control.
No. Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
bad.
The ship is spinning over
Oh
the
no. You
ocean.
can see it.
Looks like they had engine problems again.
No.
And I think that they most likely are going to lose the ship.
Shoot. This is like a big deal, Joe.
Yes, I know. Yeah, the ship is definitely out of control. And it looks like if the telemetry is correct, maybe 2 of the engines, the Raptor backs may either be on or they've lost telemetry.
Oh, that makes me so sad for them.
But yeah,
Dude, they really needed this shit to go right.
yeah. Sorry about being a little bit behind on the call
It's
there.
okay.
But,
It's okay.
But yeah, the ship is not.
That's why we have comments coming in.
Yeah, the ship is not going to be able to be saved. I do not believe. In fact, it's already starting to re-enter. We're seeing some plasma.
Dude, that's a big bummer. That's a big bummer. No.
Well, we'll see what SpaceX says. It's hard to really say for sure, but we do know that this is, the first of the next generation ship, and we know that there was a lot of internal plumbings. They had that harmonic resonance that they had on the first ship. They thought that they had that resolved. That may be what we're seeing again, and it could be because of that new plumbing for the methane, or it could be some other issues. But clearly they had a major issue again with the ship.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's such a bummer
Oh, it
because
was
the
looking
catch
good.
was so incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you think about this vantage point? I think it's
I think this was
awesome.
very nice. I mean, where we were at, I mean, just to be able to hear the engines, the
That
sonic
was
boom.
the launch felt so different. I mean, because I've seen several launches now, but this was incredible to
Yes.
be at the ground level. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You're asking what my feelings are right now. My feelings are I'm very sad for the SpaceX employees have been putting so much
Yeah.
effort into this.
Right.
And
we were just saying before the launch, they needed this to go well.
They
They
did.
needed to get beyond
Absolutely.
what just happened. They needed to at least try one extra thing compared to Flight 7,
Right.
and now that's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
My honest assessment, I mean, we can talk about they gather data, they're learning, and they're in the development stage, and all that is great. We were asking before how we are on the timeline. I cannot imagine that this is a good thing. I think that this is definitely delaying them. If I were at SpaceX, I would think that we need to do a complete design review of Starship version 2. What is actually going on? Is it a plumbing issue? Is it a hardware issue? Is it a venting issue?
Yes.
What? But they're simply, they really need to do a serious design review of Starship version 2.
Right. And, let's remind people that the mishap investigation from 7 is still currently open. This was a modification or an exemption, whatever you call it, to be able to launch Flight 8. And so now, with this outcome, which we're still obviously waiting for more details about, but it's not looking good for the ship.
Right.
Ship 33 obviously had an untimely death, and looks like Ship 34 will be the same.
You have a very good point. Flight 7 mishap report is still open. Flight 8 just had something very similar. I personally, I mean, I don't want to be doom and gloom and everything, and I know people will look at this later and all that, but I think we're going to have many month delay now. They're going to have to.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, fool me once.
Yes.
Yeah.
But clearly there is, in my opinion, take it for what it's worth, but I think that they needed a full design review of the version 2 of the ship. Now, as far as the boosters are concerned, it looking like the current design, which is only the first version of it, is working pretty well. They are going to have to take a look and find out why 11 of the 13s lit, but 2 did not. As I mentioned, they had redesigned the igniters. They thought that they had made them more robust, and clearly they had 2 that didn't light. But on the same token, we clearly saw that 11 was enough to make up the performance and be able to come back for the catch. I did not look and see when they lit them for the landing if all 13 lit again or not. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. But encouraging that they now have 3 catches of the booster. So I think that they're really dialing that in, and they could be confident in what they're doing with the booster and the avionics and all that right now. But yeah, I can't paint this in another way to say that this is great. There's always good data you can get, but just a reminder of some of the milestones that we were talking about. Besides the design of the ship, they haven't been able to show that they can deploy satellites, and that's the primary mission of the Starship. We were not able to demonstrate the deorbit burn, which is important if they're going to do orbital flight.
Yeah, again, this was another suborbital. Some people are asking, are they finally going to go orbital?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah. And I feel for the heat shield tile team, they never got a chance to demonstrate that. And we also don't know about the controllability of the ship with the new flap design and what that's doing with the aerodynamics. And they didn't get the data on the various different kinds of tiles, the cooling. There's a lot that they did not get.
A lot of experiments, and it's really it's sad. I mean, it was amazing seeing another booster catch, but we're only halfway there. There's still the ship, and this is not a great outcome. I mean, we had obviously with intuitive machines, it's been a tough day.
Yeah, this has not been the greatest day. It looked like it was going to be an outstanding day for space fans, but we've now had a problem on the moon. We've now had a problem with Starship. I don't know. I don't want to keep going on anymore. If anybody has any questions, but that's my raw assessment of where we're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you think that it can't have been the same problem with the attic fire because they sort of fixed
We
that?
don't know. I mean, that's where we're going to have to find the data.
But they made some fixes to prevent that in the future, right?
They made some fixes that they thought might be able to correct it.
So-
But they're going to have to go back and find out.
Because at this point, we have no idea what caused that.
No.
We just know that it was sort of similar in nature to Ship 33.
Well, we know that Ship 33, we didn't see it in the feed, but they had the attic fire. They had some loss of controllability. They lost the telemetry. And apparently it was sort of spinning out of control, but we never saw that until it was detonated. In this particular one, we clearly saw video from the ship that it was spinning out of control. And we saw that at least some of the engines were off. So, you know, you can't lose that much control unless there was something seriously wrong.
True. Oh, man. What a bummer. What a bummer.
Yeah, I feel for them. They're going to, yeah, it's going to take some time. I think they really need to go back and look and figure out what's going on.
Do you
with that
think
design.
that they maybe went a little too fast with this one?
You mean just
Flight
the last few days and trying to get it ready to go?
No, just in general.
Um,
Considering the mishap investigation is still open for 7.
maybe. I think, not thinking about the mishap investigation, but more of they did some major design changes to the ship. Every time you make a small change, you've changed something that could affect things down the line throughout the design. And that's just one change. They made thousands of changes, some of them small, but some of them gigantic. And
it's going to be harder to pinpoint with all those changes too.
It is. I mean, they'll have the data. They can look and figure out what the root cause for this is and if it's related to the previous one or not. But, you know, clearly something has massively changed between version 1 and version 2 ship that now makes version 2 not reliable.
Do you think it's those downcomers?
My guess, I'm going to say this
We're
is
all
completely
speculating.
speculating
We're all
right now.
speculation zone.
Right. I think the engines themselves and the plumbing of the engines didn't change. They're the same engines, but the propellant line, the route of the fluid, how those pipes are designed, where they connect, what that does for the flanges, connectors, the welders, welds. I think, I think whatever they introduced into that design has now made it far less reliable. And the sad thing is they were making that design because they're thinking to the future where they're going to have more engines. So they needed to have a different plumbing. But you know, again, totally speculation. But the way I understand those new downcomers are, they kind of start high up in the ship and they go at angles through the LOX tank down. And that's a very long, unsupported, perhaps, pipe that can have a lot of bending, flexing, and you can also, with the fluid going through it, you can have a lot of pressure spikes through that fluid column, especially if they're moving around. That may be that harmonic response. So, yeah, there's clearly something with the design that is bad, and they need.
Well, and SpaceX is usually very good at getting us information within the same day. So, of course, as soon as we get an update, I will let you guys know.
Yeah.
Let's read some comments and see if there's any questions or. Wow, that's a loud helicopter, and it looks like it's a little bit. Yeah, see, SpaceX Nerd Tom says the booster and engines are solid. The plumbing on Starship has got to be suspect.
Yeah.
Massive change in plumbing from version 1 to version 2. Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's, you know. Someone says heads are going to roll. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that this is not going to be great for the progress. Someone wants to know, how was my leg? I sort of ran inside, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything.
Good. Okay.
But I was.
You were prepared for it this time, though.
I was surprised, but
see, you were fine. Like I
mean,
said,
it couldn't have been that much different inside, right?
I think you're just used to it. I mean, you expected it.
Yeah.
And this time I also said, hey, it's about to hit. So.
Yeah. Well, I ran inside before that.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, man, but pretty incredible. They've had 3 booster catches.
3 out of the last 4 have been caught,
I mean,
and the last one was not the booster issue.
Yeah. Right. So that's really incredible.
Yeah.
Was there anything different about it to you this time, seeing it from this vantage point? It
I think
does
that
look different
it does look different.
from the
I
ground.
think the biggest thing that was a little bit unfortunate is we had a gigantic cloud from the liftoff itself that sort of obscured our view of when it went subsonic. So we didn't see the vapor trail, and we just saw it just as it went underneath the clouds, and then the ignition of the engines. Otherwise, it was pretty similar. I think, like I said, I think they've got that dialed down pretty well as far as the booster return.
Is it pixelated just for us, or is it? Let me know if the stream is pixelated. I'm on Wi-Fi, but it does look a little bit pixelated on our end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is SpaceX done? Did they stop the feed?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Well, better to stop it and say they don't have information than to give non-information, as we've learned.
I'm wondering which
Yeah.
Wi-Fi you're on.
I think I'm on the home. Yeah, I'm on the home.
So for whatever
Yeah,
reason,
we're pixelated, so that's no fun. Yeah, I feel like we have mixed feelings about it.
I have pretty.
I think most people here have. Most people on the ground that saw that booster catch are probably on cloud 9 right now, especially if it's their first rocket launch ever. That's a pretty spectacular feeling.
It is, but I just can't see this any other way than this is a major setback for them. Yeah, I know that some people are going to probably criticize me for that. They'll look back and say whatever, but I just one time is fine, I guess.
Right.
But twice in a row now with the new generation of the ship,
it's a big deal.
And it's not just going to Mars, but also they still are in contract with NASA for the HLS lander, which is a variant of the second generation ship potentially. And that's definitely going to have to be relooked. And one other thing that just sort of comes to mind is we're about to have confirmation hearings for a new administrator for NASA. I believe that the new administrator is going to come in with maybe a new focus for NASA, the new direction and all that. And it was going to be based a lot on commercial space and Starship. And this is going to affect that because people are going to look at it and they say, wait a minute, you want us to base our future national space program on this? And look what's happening. So I just think that across the board, this can't be great.
And this is coming from huge SpaceX fans, by the way. So you guys know that we love and support SpaceX, but we're just keeping it real that this is not a good outcome today, unfortunately. All right. Well, wow, we still have more super chats coming in to the moon.
Sorry that it's so pixelated. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know if we move or something. Maybe it's better. I don't know.
Either that or maybe people are downloading stuff right now.
Yeah. Regardless, I think we will wait for some more information to come in. I will put out a report as soon as we get more information from SpaceX. You guys know that I love to beat everyone else and have the breaking news. And so thank you to Basket Vector for the super chat. Thank you to everyone who watched. Oh, it's looking a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Definitely a SpaceX fan, and it broke my heart seeing this failure. Yeah. Just for Peace wants to know, did Starship visually explode over the ocean again? Well, it was visibly tumbling from the video that we were seeing.
I don't know if it got as far as before or not. It was in that general area. I don't know. We'll have to see what additional information we get. Unfortunately, we didn't have the super high power camera that we had last time. So had we had that, we might have been able to see it more if it was close enough to us. But
at least it was a lot better weather conditions for us here visibly than it was on Monday. And thank you, Scott, for the very generous super chat. I think your coverage gives a real world human aspect to it. I am buying a t-shirt to help support you and Joe, the almost astronaut. Thank you, Scott. And I will leave the link again, just in case any of you guys didn't see it. And Joe, actually, do you mind showing your shirt off?
Oh, sure.
The shirt underneath your sweater. So we have a few new designs, and I wish that this wasn't so pixelated. Maybe this is going to be any better over here. Wow, it's really pixelated. Well, I guess it's kind of hard to show it off if we can't even see it. Yeah. See, this is the problem. Like the visual can be so bad down here.
I don't know why. And we're using a land Wi-Fi, a hard connection. We're not just using Starlink. So
yeah, it's just tough service out here.
But anyway, this is, if you can see it, this is what the shirt looks like. But go to her shop and you'll be able to see it
What if
a lot
I
better.
try your Starlink?
All right, we'll try
just
shift
for
over
fun.
to my Starlink and see what
Let's
happens.
see. Or actually, it would be on here, I think, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So, okay, give me your prediction. Do you think that the next Starship launch will be when?
I just can't see it being anything shorter than several months. It's not just going through the investigation and all that other process, but SpaceX needs to just come back and get back to basics, figure out what design problems that they're having. They're going to have to redesign something. They really do, and that's not something that they can just do. They have Ship 35 that's in hardware, almost ready to start its cryogenics. I don't see them moving forward on that. There's no reason to, because it's the same design as what we just saw here. So if they have to redesign it significantly, Ship 35 could get scrapped, and they have to, they also have 36, 37, 38 in the design process. So you would think that if it's a major redesign, it's going to have to flow through all of them. So I think this is a big deal. I really do.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I think we'll wait until we get some more information. But thank you guys for watching. Glad we were able to go today. I mean, well, I don't know if it would have been any different any other day.
No, but people who watch me, one of the things I try to do is provide contents and keep it real.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you my honest assessment right now.
Okay. Stay mic'd up for a second for me.
Okay.
And we will say peace out, Girl Scout. More information coming soon.